Hi everybody, welcome back. It's me, Lightning Tanoko, and today is going to be another non-Minecraft related video. Um, so the next episode of my hardcore series is not done being edited, and so I thought in between now and then I wanted to upload a really brief video kind of showing you guys some art that I've made through the years. This video is also, partly just really for me, um, especially right now, but because I want to, use this channel as a way to journal and document some things about myself that I have a feeling that I tend to forget, but also in the case of art, for example, I've never been really truly sentimental with the things I've made, and so a lot of the things have just kind of been lost through the years, and in a hope to take everything and put it into like a very concise aggregate source. I hope that it will encourage me to keep drawing and also, just share with you guys, and hopefully from there, you can give me some feedback on what you guys think. And so, anyways, let's get started. Um, so this is only also going back to the oldest I have is to 2018. I mean, I've drawn my whole life, but again, I've just not been the best in terms of keeping it all in one place. So right now I just have like an album that I have all of my things organized into. And so the first thing I have here is this picture, which says birth on it, and it, has this weird little acorn baby thing with a strange expression. And I actually made this during a class. So I, instead of, focusing or whatever, I was just doing like this kind of weird little pixel art thingy. And yeah, it just reminds me of there was a wolf I had once made. I was trying to, it was when Hotline Miami came out, and I was just really wanting to kind of do the art style that they had. I don't have that picture, but it was cool, I promise, I swear. The next thing, so these two images are actually from when I was in the military, and just like the previous one, I should have been probably doing whatever it was I was doing, but this is like this Panasonic Tough Book that had like a stylist, and so instead of working, I couldn't help myself. I had to draw, this long wiener cat and cowboy dog, but between the two, I'm not gonna lie, the long wiener cat's my favorite because I think it just looks so silly, like the proportions, the simplicity. But next is actually, this is the second, and I might as well just show the first one. So this is the first acrylic painting I literally ever made, and as you can see, very half baked. This is my cat named Socks, and he was like the cat to end all cats for me, for the majority of my life now. I mean, I have cats now, but he's my childhood cat, and I wanted him to be drawn as like a czar. I've always liked replacing the heads with animals in paintings, and yeah. So as you can see, really not that impressive, but it's what I did. And so the next one is this one. Whoa. Well, this, like I said, the second acrylic painting I had ever made, and I'm not gonna lie, I think it was pretty decent. So this one had, when I originally made it, I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have this fight scene between these two squirrels? And because I saw this image online originally, and I wanted to just try it on my own, and now I've created this image that most people think they're just looking at two squirrels doing the nasty. But I mean, I guess that has worth in it itself. So, and if you wonder why the background's pink, it's because I didn't want to make this background. But here's this one, and like I said, animal, human body, and this was I originally made of a friend that I had at the time. This is in 20. Sorry, my phone's like glitching out. 2019. And yeah, so I made it for a friend, and that friendship really fizzled out. And so if you're seeing this, can I have it back? But yeah, no, it was just a picture of their cats. And yeah, I just really liked how honestly the background looked, with sort of like the dark gradient that was totally by accident in the process of me layering differently. But yeah, there's that. And then this is a series of a bunch of doodles that I've made that all um, what I've really noticed is I would always draw the most when I had like a little to-do list, or what do they call them? Paste it, a note, and which is weird because I've always found it really difficult to journal with like a whole journal, but like give me something I'm not supposed to draw and I'll just draw on it all day. And so yeah, this fish is actually gonna make a return, but I really liked Dennis the Devoured here. This nasty little dog, and judging by the 2019, yeah, I hope this these stats and attributes on the left make sense. And here's the dragon and little grim reaper thing I made. I thought that the shading actually came out really good on that one, with a beautiful writing poo poo on the tree. But yeah, those are some other little doodles I made. And here's 2 movie posters. I made this when I came back from deployment, and I recreated the fish because for some reason the fish image just felt so powerful to me. I don't know why, it just called to me. And the fake movie poster, I mean, who wouldn't want to see an attack duck the movie in the vein of like what Jaws, but taken way too seriously, right? Here's another painting. This painting I actually take a lot of pride in because I have a very heavy hand, and it's really hard for me to be like precise. And so when I made this picture, I thought like, wow, I did a pretty decent job in that regard. But yeah, I never finished it. Again, I just have a really hard time finishing these things. But I really like how the sky came out, and if you want to know like a meaning behind it, I mean, I don't know. You could psychoanalyze me later, I guess, with all the videos you've seen, but or could have seen. And look at this guy though. To break the mold, look at this fun man. Who is he? Why does he hold a place in my album? I don't know, but it's just something about his demeanor. I feel like he's a cool guy. Next, we have another acrylic painting. So I made this painting, the story behind this one, I made it at, must have been like 9 at 10 or at night in San Francisco. And it was just some like random kind of like alley. And I couldn't tell you where it was, but if you took me back to San Francisco, I could tell you. But yeah, I had a lot of ideas going in here, and I liked some of the executions, like the alleyway leading into like by this blue tree, and then also the sky with the building kind of merging into it. But I didn't get to finish this one, and I also was going like really fast, and so because I was like, kind of like not really, I didn't feel safe where I was. Not to say it was unsafe, it's just I was like painting on the middle of the street nighttime, so not really my thing. But and moving on, so this is one of my favorite things I've made on the iPad, and it's actually the first thing I made on it when I bought like a 20 something, it must have been like a 2021 iPad, and this was the first time I had like a drawing tablet, because before that I just put money into like paper, or I just didn't have the time, to be honest. And so when I got this I was like joining college, and so I was like, oh, I'll use this for both reasons. And so it was just really cool as like a study thing and drawing. And yeah, this night mouse coming into this room, unaware of the giant monster. Ooh, spooky, right? He sees it's telling a story. He sees the spit droop down, is our what will happen to our hero? Who knows? And here's a movie that I made, a little clip, which instead of watching the whole thing, I will leave clipped, you know, right here. And you can clip on this, and it will be an unlisted video link. And let me know what you think of it. It was sort of like almost like a little TikTok in terms of how long it was. But yeah, I thought it was a bit funny at the time. And then here's this, right? A twist. What do you think will happen to this cat? You know, in the next frame. If you thought a gun would appear to threaten this very cat's life, you would be right. And here's like various other cats I've drawn. And who can forget Gargwin, the I Hate Thursdays penguin? I mean, come on, like a classic. And okay, now we've arrived to when I was like full on in college. This is right here. This right here is when I was in my Photoshop class, and as you can see, we had to make a brochure for something, and I chose Antarctica. And yeah, I just thought that seal mixture between these stock images. It's like, I mean, I don't know about you, I want to go to Antarctica now more than ever. Also from the same class, my Photoshop class, we had to do like mythical beast drawing, and so these two, there's a scorpion, a jaguar, and a morpion. You know, I really like, you know, the big Mickey ears and the gloves I put on the mouse. But the jaguar, I mean, I think this concept is pretty cool. You know, like apex predator dragonfly with what is like a 90% kill ratio, never missing a target, mixed with another apex predator, a big cat. Dude, imagine the accuracy. Crazy. And the compound eyes, though, I thought, you know, really cool idea. So this is the first time I actually made anything with pastels, and I really liked how it came out, dude. I didn't realize that working with pastels was so fun. Yeah, I was just throwing colors together. The reason I drew this was because there was like a snail on the ground near my apartment, and I thought, I'm gonna take a picture, because I always tend to take pictures of like insects that I find. And yeah, so this one in particular, I literally was just like, I want to do pastels, bought a bunch of pastels, and I thought, I need a subject. And luckily it was like raining the day before, so there was just snails everywhere. And yeah, let me know what you think. I think the only thing that was like really interesting that I could really recall when making this was sort of the process. There, you see that pink kind of aura around the slug or snail. So what I did was I drew it on, and then I used my finger to sort of like smudge it, and I thought it kind of created a really cool effect and like really looked like it's like glowing. And then here's a two image in one kind of thing. Can you see the second image? You know, it looks like a lava crazy landscape, but there's also a skeleton, a huge skeleton of death. Whoa. Yeah, so in the background, there's like a cloud, and there's supposed to be like the eyes and the nose. The lava coming down is like the teeth, and then in the what's it called? You know, the mountain that's the volcano. Yeah, like the rock, empty rock is its hand, and then on the other side of that is like a rock that's like looked like another hand. I don't know if it reads well, but that's what I did there. And here's product design, because I was in college for industrial design, like centering around commercial like product items. And so one of the things that we were doing was in SolidWorks designing, you know, like a chair, and we had to stay within the constraints of it having this sort of like U sort of thing. And my camera finally came back, but yeah, so I decided to make mine this beetle looking chair, which was cool but impractical because that's like what my professor at the time told me. So I mean, yeah, I had to change the design later, and you'll see that. But here's a little quirky little thing I've done. For my Photoshop class, we had to make like welcome to your event, right, cards. And I thought, let's be edgy and make mine my funeral. Their picture is my dog, Nikolai, who unfortunately is no longer with us. But, I did this sort of like, early 2000s, well, Y2K, more like 90s vibe. And overall, was really happy with the choices I made. I think the thing that did a lot of the work was the actual font. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, really like the design of In Memory Of. I thought that actually looked really nice. But here's a ring that I made, a cat themed ring, and two, all these little fishes around it. And you'll see the 3D mock-up. I mean, working with 3D was actually really fun, but like being all technical with it, I mean, bro, when I mean like learning and getting knowledge to doing something to a very accurate degree, really, at least for me, makes it difficult to start things and finish them, because I know if I want to achieve, in what my eyes is perfection, so basically being a perfectionist, I have to cope with the feelings of inadequacy, or like towards workload and my own proficiency. And so it's difficult really to do these things. And I think in the case of 3D art and just drawing in general, it's like, man, I love these things, but that's something I have to really work on. But going back to the point of this, look at this drawing now was in my technical drawing class, and it was like the final thing we had to do, which was essentially just copying our professor. The whole class was, copy your professor as much as you can while learning. But this one, I thought it came out pretty decent. However, I think the biggest glaring issue is like the doorway being extremely flat relative to the building, so it's not really following the perspective completely that well. But I mean, in the case of this drawing, it doesn't look that bad. That was a pretty fun class. And so here's actually the mock-up of the ring I did. And this is one of the reasons I really liked 3D modeling, is when you finally get it into your software into which you could simulate like lighting and material, you see things just really take shape. And it's like, in the case of this ring, like, whoa, right? Like, I remember it blew me away. And yeah, I mean, let me know in the comments, would you change the materials or the colors of the ring, and what do you think of it? And here's the chair. Wah, 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 right? Really boring compared to the first one that I drew. But I mean, all in all, it's a chair. I don't know, maybe you could put a throw pillow in there or something. Just be one of those chairs, who knows? And so here's, again, I was getting pretty burnt out by the end of this semester in particular. It was just really difficult translating back from getting out of the military and then being in art school, or just school in general. And I this project was like making a poster to an ad. And so the ad I made was for Minecraft, and I thought this was like, looking back, it's like obviously really uncreative, but it's just, I made like 2 cubes, and I made it to where you're like looking into the Minecraft world, right? Yeah, no, definitely not my best work. I mean, looking at it, I mean, I don't think it's miserably horrible, but does it reflect anything in terms of how Minecraft even chooses to, advertise it? No, not really. But anyways, whoa, more cats, more quirky little, cute little cats. A drawing of a man I never finished. I was just messing around doing a doodle. And then here we have another big assignment of me just doing some sketches for, this one was like for my Photoshop class as well, and we had to like, again, sketch out what we wanted our I think it was a band event sort of promotional material. And so I chose Melody's Echo Chamber, which I really love their songs. Shiram, I Follow You. And so I thought it was a pretty no-brainer. It was pretty interesting to do these sketches. Um, so here's like these two paintings I made that were for my, like, I think it was like life science, and I just needed something really quickly to put into a slideshow. And in order to, like, not generate an image with AI, or like look some stock image up online, I decided to make them. And here's supposed to be what, like a meteor crashing to Earth, and this is like an ice sort of. I think they're meant to explain different points in Earth's history. Yeah, and here, wrapping up nearly, is a dream. I attempted to draw a dream I had, which was, in this image is depicting like a spaceship, this green thing with a giant like metallic needle that would extend all the way down from the ship, and those two black like circles are actually like one-way mirrors. And in my dream, I was in this ship, and I don't know, let's say we were a couple 100, 300 feet up in the air from this ocean planet, and honestly probably a little bit farther than like 100, 200, 300 feet, like 1,000, 2,000 feet up in the air. And I was like looking down, and I had this sensation in my body of like, I'm gonna fall. So it was like kind of one of those dreams. And yeah, I just thought like, this is very surreal. And I have like mostly nightmares, but that one didn't feel quite like a nightmare. It was just very off-putting. And here's a picture of my childhood dog that I drew. It is my stuffed animal that I got. My grandma gave me him when I was born, and so he's probably as old as me, if not a little bit older. And yeah, this guy's day one, you know what I mean? And wrapping it up, here's one of the last things I made on my iPad. Here's a cat with a beer, maybe beer, something like that. But what do you think I drew first? If you said the cat, you'd be right. I thought when I made the beverage, I thought, wouldn't it be really funny if it was just like completely different in terms of detail? And so that's why I did it. And with that wraps up everything I really have to show. And I know it's nothing impressive. I think it still feels really nice to get this out of the way and kind of, again, keep this somewhere. So like I said, it's just aggregated, and ultimately, anybody who stumbles upon my account, I hope you enjoy what you saw. Let me see any of the art you've made. And I think beyond that, I hope that going forward, I really draw more. And that's the point of me doing this as well, was I was hoping to get some motivation to continue drawing, and to try to open up that part of my life again. But that's been everything, and I hope you enjoy. So I'm Lightning Toko, and I'll see you next time.